Yo, all right, the Reds. How are we? Welcome to Anfield Road TV. If you are new around here, want to keep up to date on all things Liverpool related transfer news. Obviously, a lot of football. Obviously on the horizon. The Euros will be getting played in Germany. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we see a couple of our Liverpool players very successful in the tournament. It's going to be a good one. Hugely anticipating. I'm anticipating. Um, France might win it anyway. But we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about Alisson Becker. His supposed speculation over the last 24 hours is yet again the Saudi Pro League. Are going to be absolutely investing a lot of capital into the new recruits for the new season. So, Alisson, will he be going? No, I don't think he will be going. And we'll speak about it, what that could mean for Liverpool as well. Trent's potential new deal on the horizon as well. It's a matter of when, not if, he will be getting that lucrative new deal. Obviously, with potentially round the corner as well. He is the priority for Liverpool over the next couple of weeks. He leapfrogs Virgil van Dijk and obviously Alisson and other players in this team, even Mohamed Salah. Trent, he's a Scouser born and bred. He bleeds red and he is a massive part of not just whoever the manager was going to be coming in post-Jurgen Klopp. He's a massive part of Liverpool's future in the next couple of seasons anyway. And Trent is a big priority for the whole of Liverpool. Big up there, Panov. How are we, mate? Not too bad, mate. Hopefully you are all well and good. Scouse, how are we? Phil, how are we? Gentlemen as well. Everyone, if you are watching on the repeat, do always get involved in the comment section below. If you're not watching live, me or the great subscribers we've got on our channel will always get involved in the comment section below. So let us know your thoughts on all the topics that we will be discussing as we are live on air anyway. But please do get involved. Really helps out the channel and just helps out all the social malarkey and all that anyway. Hope you all had a good week. So obviously we're going to be touching a lot of bases really tonight. Speaking about obviously the Liverpool players that did get selected for the England national side as well and made up for them. I'm hoping that all four of the lads that did get selected do go to the Euros. Because I know Liverpool fans say we don't care about England, but what I care about is the players really. And I know how important those getting selected for, whether that be the South American lads, whether that be the English lads as well. It means so much to our players. And if they do well, it only bodes well for Liverpool in terms of not just an international stage, but in terms of club perspective as well, and their future development in a Liverpool shirt as well. So speaking about that as well, Trent's new contract, Sepp van der Berg as well. There's been a lot of speculation, especially over last week anyway. He was, as we've done on countless episodes over the last 12 months, when we spoke about potential players that might be going out in terms of long term. We look at Joel Matip. We spoke about that about 2 years ago anyway. We anticipated Joel Matip not to sign a new deal due to if Joel Matip was not an injury-prone centre-half, he will be getting a new deal at Liverpool. And I wish he wasn't an injury-prone centre-half, because we all know Joel Matip's qualities as a centre-half. For me, one of the most underrated centre-halves in the whole of Europe the last 4, 5, 6 seasons in a Liverpool shirt. I think if he wasn't injured, I think he'll be in contention for easily in the top 5 centre-halves on a more consistent basis. And he's going to be a big miss. And so Sepp van der Berg, we'll speak about that. Obviously, let us know your England starting 11 as well. We'll have a little, won't dwell too much onto that. But chat, we'll get to all your comments as well if you are tuning in as well. Big up there, Doug. Hope you are well, mate. And we'll get straight into Alisson Becker news anyway. So if you've been hiding under a rock, obviously Alisson Becker, especially over the last 24 hours, as we know, we are in the world of social media. He's getting linked with the Saudi Pro League. We know the amount of resources is very deep in terms of obviously the amount of money they have got. They have got in excess of billions, and it is billions to very much promote the Saudi Pro League. The sign of Ronaldo moving all those years ago, I think it was 2 years now, since obviously he switched from the Premier League to the Saudi Pro League from Manchester United. money is no object. Like, it's not going to be an issue for the Saudi Pro League teams, as we know. Obviously, Live Golf, they've invested massively, the Saudis, into the golf, into the boxing as well. We've seen it. They're investing so much of their resources into global sport. I personally think if you've got that amount of money, go for it, mate, because it's only going to bode well for the boxing as well. We actually have now, in terms of the we are seeing the big boxing matches, and for a very long time we weren't accustomed to that. So I think if anyone invested into sport, it's only going to bode well for hopefully but I think they will eventually do well in terms of recruiting a lot more higher caliber players. And this is where the Alisson Becker news does come into it now, in relation to their next phase of the Saudi Pro League. They want to bring in now. The last couple of years, it has been a case of, we're going to be buying players that might be at the back end of their career now, but we've, by all accounts, all reports, all very well-respected journalists out there that have been covered in the Saudi Pro League over the last couple of months, is like the next phase of their plan now is to bring in very much more recognised like athletes in terms of football now. So they're looking at, supposedly, you couldn't believe all the reports, Alisson, Edison, and a lot more established elite level footballers now. To say that players wouldn't join the Saudi Pro League would be very silly, not just me, but as a Liverpool fan, but for any football fan out there of their clubs to say that he wouldn't join them. Because at the end of the day, when we spoke about Jordan Henderson as well, I was in the camp of Jordan Henderson. I get where people were getting disgruntled, but Henderson had to look after his family, really. It's a lot of money that they are going to invest into these players as well. For me, I think Alisson will be staying at Liverpool, but it depends how stupid of an offer. So anyone out there, let us know what price tag. I'm not putting a price tag on Alisson Becker. I don't want him to leave Liverpool Football Club. Bloody hell. For me, he's Liverpool's second greatest ever goalkeeper, behind Ray Clemence, in terms of, obviously, Ray Clemence winning all those accolades at Liverpool. But I think in terms of quality, Alisson Becker for me is Liverpool's second all-time greatest goalkeeper. That's another show for another debate or whatever anyway. But I think a price tag, if a fee of 150, 200 million did come in, and people might scoff at just go as if there's no way they'd pay that amount of money, the Saudi Pro League teams. But as I said, their revenue streams are in the billions, and their next phase of plan, that's what they want to do. That's the type of caliber of player that they want to invest in. I don't want to see him gone, because, by Lord, putting aside Alisson Becker, apart from Pepe Reina, who had a very, very stellar, he had a solid 3-4 years at Liverpool, obviously tailed off at the back end of his career anyway. But apart from Pepe Reina and Alisson Becker, Liverpool have really struggled in the Premier League era of having Alisson at the minute. For me, we have got the best goalkeeper in world football. That's another show for rival fans. Might say, obviously, certain other goalkeepers out there as well. I do rate ter Stegen prior to his injury. Maignan, I've completely butchered that, but the AC Milan goalkeeper, really think he's highly rated. Jan Oblak, for the last couple of seasons prior to the last 12 months, I think he's an elite level goalkeeper as well. Edison had probably one of those better seasons last year, obviously, in terms of leading Manchester City to win the Champions League and win the treble. So he had probably his best career in a Manchester City shirt as well. So it's not just going to be Liverpool. We'll see lots of reports over the next couple of weeks, next couple of months as well. Obviously, with the transfer window going to be becoming open anyway. So it won't just be Alisson. Do I think he will go? No, I don't think he will go. But chat, I'm more interested in what you all think. But there will be some crazy transfer fees that are going to be getting banded around, really, in terms of whether that be Alisson or other football players in general when they are moving to the Saudi Pro League. So it will be interesting. But as Zane said there, and this is what I was just going to be, but I'll get to Zane's comments and it's a spot on one. And as Zane said, Liverpool can't afford to lose Alisson. He's one of them keepers that can play until he's Neuer's age as well. Obviously, shout out Manuel Neuer as well. Bloody hell, he just come back this season from I think he broke his leg or he done something very. If it was he was out skiing, and Bayern Munich weren't best you please last season. But it's good to see him back to his best. Apart from when he dropped the ball to Joselu a couple of weeks ago in that second leg at the Santiago Bernabeu anyway. But yeah, you can't put a price on Alisson Becker, chat. And that just, as Zane said there. But if a stupid bid, say north of 150 million come in, I think Liverpool would struggle not to turn it down. But I love Ali. Like I tell you what, as I said, apart from Pepe Reina and Alisson Becker, Liverpool in the Premier League here, they've really struggled to get a top-level goalkeeper in. Because you think about it, there's not a lot of them out there. And I know I mentioned a couple of them, but in terms of consistency, if Alisson did have 3 or 4 Premier League winners' medals, for me, it'd be head-to-head between him and, in terms of actual quality, it'd be between him and Petr Cech for the starting 11 best Premier League players of all time in terms of the goalkeeping position anyway. Big up there, Panov, good joke. But yeah, happy days there. When you have big up there, Zane, a nearly 40-year-old way past his prime, Cristiano Ronaldo scoring 40 to 50 goals, he ain't the best as well. But it will develop, Zane. The amount of resources the Saudi Pro League, and thing is, the investment that they've made in general sports in every department. You look at the darts as well, the snooker, which is, for me, I'm not a massive watcher of the snooker, but I think snooker has been crying out for a lot more investments, and they certainly are getting that now with obviously the tournaments that are getting played in that part of the world, which is always well and good. So it's only going to bode well for the players as well. If you're a snooker player, a darts player, a boxer, a footballer even, if you're good at your job and they're willing to pay the big wages, and go for it. Go for it, because you can. It's crazy money that they've got. But if you're good at what you do in terms of your sports personality, go for it, mate. Go and get the bag. But there we go. As Panov said, if we sell Ali, it has to be for 130 million plus. But I wouldn't sell him as well. Yeah, Panov. And there's been a lot of talk, obviously, with Kelleher. We spoke about this on the channel for the best part of the last 2 years, really, when we've had the lads on and when we just spoke to you in general. Caoimhin Kelleher, he's obviously with the goalkeeper. It was a Southampton goalkeeper. I think, apologies, I'm wrong, chat. I think he's the Irish goalkeeper at Southampton who's been injured. He did miss out on obviously the playoff final. So congratulations to Southampton, who did secure their spot in the Premier League. And that's where Caoimhin Kelleher will be looking now to very much try and get his spot in the national side. He needs to be playing a lot more consistently. He's played the most amount of games last season in terms of, obviously, him and Alisson more or less shared the whole season in terms of matches that he played. And he played a big part in Liverpool's campaign, Caoimhin Kelleher, but all the best to him. I think he will leave Liverpool this summer, but I think Liverpool will command a fee in the region, probably around 20 to 25 million. I think that's easily achievable for a player of his quality, really. It'd be disappointing to see him go, but yeah, be crazy, mate. Big up there, Storm. Good morning, young Jack. Far from it, lad, but happy days there, Storm. Massive thank you for tuning in, mate, and obviously hope you have a good day, mate. And as always, you're an absolute legend. Yeah, it would be less than, yes. Yeah, 100%. Wouldn't argue as well. But chat, so let me know your thoughts. If you are watching the repeat, do let us know your thoughts on that. I don't think he'll go anywhere, Alisson Becker. I think, obviously, with the reports this week, especially over the last 24 hours, it won't just be a case of Alisson Becker you'll be seeing getting linked with the Saudi Pro League. The amount of money and the amount of resources they've got, chat, I don't think he'll be going anywhere. But if they did throw so much money at Alisson Becker, he's just like, and like all of us really. If it's crazy money, if it's life-changing money, then I wouldn't write it out in terms of Alisson saying no or yes. But I think Ali loves the club, but he's got to think about himself and think about his family as well. So yeah, if it's crazy money, where we're talking like where he's getting what, 500,000 a week or like something stupid, then that is crazy money. But all the best to Ali. But I think he will stay. He will stay at Liverpool. But I don't think any of us would begrudge him really if he did get a crazy offer to leave as well. And moving on to Trent in terms of the potential, there has been obviously reports. Best part of the last 12 months, really. I fully anticipate Trent to be the priority, and it's just a matter of when, not if, Trent's new contract does get announced at Liverpool Football Club. I think he has, in recent months, he's more or less jumped ahead of Mohamed Salah. Obviously, there's a clamouring for Salah to get signed a new deal, but I think the main man is Trent. His contract will potentially be getting announced very soon. It's just a matter of, as soon as obviously Arne Slot does get officially announced on the 1st of June, that is when he does officially start. But obviously the legwork will have already been done anyway, and the crossing of the I's and ticking off of the T's anyway, and all the contracts will be getting sorted. They'll be getting boxed off. And Trent, this is going to be his big, like he's already had a big contract a couple of years ago, but in terms of big contracts, one that I potentially see him stay at Liverpool Football Club for his entire career now, and more or less make him the captain's contract, really. Obviously, there was a lot of talk, obviously, the passing of the baton, really, in terms of Virgil van Dijk. Obviously, post Jordan Henderson era at Liverpool. But as we know, it's a foregone conclusion that Trent will be, whatever does happen with Virgil van Dijk, as soon as he retires, Trent will be taking over that captaincy. But it will be interesting, chat, in the next 12 to 24 months, whether the changing of the captain will happen. We've seen it with Sami Hyypiä, in terms of when Steven Gerrard did get that new contract, when Gerard Houllier did have a conversation. He had a difficult conversation with Sami Hyypiä at the time, but Sami Hyypiä was a well-seasoned veteran. He was what a player Sammy was, but he was ultimately a proper professional and a proper centre-half and a proper Liverpool. I love Sammy. I can just remember when I was watching Liverpool as a young lad, Sammy appeared on corners was an absolute bloody joke. It seemed like obviously that goal against Juventus as well, a massive part to play in his career. But yeah, there was that time when Gerrard took over the captaincy. There's a great interview out there. I'll try and link it in the description. If you haven't seen it, go and check out the latest Phil Thompson interview. I think it was Ben Heath, I think it is, on YouTube. If you search that, I'll link it in the description anyways, but check it out. Phil Thompson spoke about him in the discussion with Gerard Houllier about giving Gerrard the new captaincy as well. And it's a great listen, really. So go and check it out. But will that happen with Trent in terms of will Van Dijk step aside to give the overall control of Trent being the captain? It could happen in the next 24 months, really, or whatnot, because Van Dijk's not getting any younger. What is Van Dijk now? 33, 34 years old. So that time will come. And yeah, so we all are next. It's a matter of when, chat. Expect the official announcements on Trent's new contract to be announced very, very, very soon in the next couple of weeks, really. That'll be getting boxed off and it will get officially announced on, because there's a lot of, I've noticed when I've been on YouTube, 6-7 years now or whatnot, you do recognise patterns, really, on Liverpool's social media accounts. They've been tweeting a lot of stuff about Trent over the last couple of days. And for me, judging from my YouTube videos over the last couple of years, I've been doing YouTube, it's an impending announcement of Trent. I feel there will be an impending announcement on Trent's new contract that will be getting signed. I'm not buying into this notion that of course, Real Madrid would like to express their interests. Of course they would, because Trent is the best right back in world football for me in terms of an attacking sense. But unless you were playing a Diego Simeone style football where you're playing a proper two banks of five and you want a defensive right back like they used to have with obviously Kieran Trippier at the time or whatnot. But Trent is the best attacking fullback in world football, and of course, big teams like Real Madrid or the biggest team in world football like Real Madrid would, of course, be sniffing around Trent's contract situation. But for me, he'll be staying at Liverpool, and it's about having him at the forefront of any aspirations of not just Arne Slot's vision for the football club, but in terms of Trent Alexander-Arnold, having him at the forefront and the potential. He will be the future. Well, he is the future captain at Liverpool Football Club. I think that outweighs any allure, really, of Real Madrid wanting to sign you. Really, I think captain in Liverpool and being the official captain in Liverpool, leading this Liverpool team out, that outweighs everything really in football. Just listen to all the great interviews he's done over the years as well. That interview he done with Gary Neville as well a couple of months ago, very telling, very, very telling as well. Chat, let's get to all your comments as well before we move on to the next one. We'll be stepping into Sepp van der Berg, bit of news as well. Big up there, Daz. Ali has a few years left at the elite level. I think he stays with us. Big up there, Daz. Yes, certainly. I've got obviously, he's 32 years old now, and we know the trajectory does most in general in terms of, I think he turns, oh no, he was only 31. Yeah, he's September. Yeah, he's turning 32 this year. He's only 31 years old. Obviously, his birthday is on the 2nd of October anyway. So it's one of them, really, when you do analyse goalkeepers. We all know it was mad when you looked at Edwin van der Sar, the back end of his career at Manchester United seemed to get better with age. We've seen that Manuel Neuer off the back of his recovery for Bayern Munich. So it's going to be one of them, Daz. I think he's got, I don't think Alisson's even in his peak, really, in goalkeeping terms. I think the best goalkeepers in terms of their... Chat, what would you say, or anyone watching on the repeat, let us know, like, what would you gauge as a goalkeeper peak? For me, I'd say about 35 to 38 in and around that age in terms of goalkeeping terms, but in terms he's still so young, like Alisson Becker, and he'll certainly have a lot more Premier Leagues come what the end of his career at Liverpool anyway. But yeah. Big up there, Andrew. How are we, lads? Good evening, Jack. No worries, lad. Yes. He's still so young, as he said there, Andrew. 100%, lads, 100%. Sepp van der Berg. Obviously, you've not been an avid watcher of the Bundesliga, really. He more or less helped, not just him on himself, because it wasn't. Sepp van der Berg scored in a 3-1 win against Wolfsburg to keep Mainz up on the final day of the Bundesliga season. And we spoke about over the last 12 months, players and teams that might potentially be leaving Liverpool. We spoke about already tonight, Queven Kelleher, potential funds coming in off the back of him. Sepp van der Berg will be a very, very, very interesting. Do we sell him or do we keep him? I think we will. And just report over last week as well. The transfer fee that has reportedly been set on the big Dutchman, and he is a big lad. I think he's about 6'5", 6'6". He's a big lad, very mobile for a player of his height as well. Not rapid pace, but he's extremely quick for a player of his height anyway. I think he registered 33 appearances in the Bundesliga, obviously registering 3 goals and picking up 9 yellow cards as well. But obviously, Mainz did finish 2 points above the Bundesliga relegation zone this season. And, of course, he played a massive part in keeping them up. Now, do I think Liverpool will keep him? No. Would I be surprised if he stayed at the football club in terms of Arne Slot coming in? No, I wouldn't be surprised, because you look at, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Joel Matip's leaving the football club. In terms of obviously coming from the Dutch Eredivisie, obviously I think he was born in completely on a butcher this, apologies any Dutch watchers anyway, Zwolle, Swolle, I've completely butchered that, so apologies. But that was his birthplace anyway. Obviously, he is Dutch. If there's one person that would know exactly what he's all about, and that is obviously Arnie Slot coming in at his time at AZ Alkmaar as well. So he's 22 years old, Seth van den Berg. Still young in terms of centre halves, but if you're looking at transfer fees potentially, but Liverpool, the centre back positions, and there'll be plenty of shows on this channel over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks as well in terms of recruitment for Liverpool. I do think we do make a lot of signings in terms of the defensive structure for Liverpool going into the new season. I'd say we'd sign probably 2 centre halves, or even 3. But in terms of one of those centre halves being a centre half that can play predominantly down the left hand side of a defensive partnership anyway, or a full back, a centre half that can fill in either at left back or it can fill in at right back, depending on obviously the changes from Arnie Slot in the next couple of seasons to come as well. So one to keep an eye on, chat. There was reports this week saying that there was a potential transfer fee of in and around 20 million that has supposedly been put on Seth van den Berg's head in terms of whether the Julian Ward, Michael Edwards, the lads running the football club. I tell you what, if we can get 20 million for Seth van den Berg, that would be big. That would be above my expectations, really. I remember doing a couple of transfer video episodes a couple of seasons ago, and I think I put in a value of probably about 5 million on Seth van den Berg. I think if we can get anywhere north of 15 million for Seth van den Berg, it would be a massive boost in terms of Liverpool's recruitment plans going into the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. But I wouldn't put it past him staying at the football club, considering the departing Joel Matip as well. One of the centre halves that I'd anticipate to leave would be obviously Reece Williams and obviously Nat Phillips. I'd say certainly those 2 players that I've mentioned there will be leaving the football club on a permanent basis anyway. But it's very heavily dependent on who comes into Liverpool as well in terms of the new recruitment of players. I would say about 32. Big up there, Panov. Big up there, Gaz. Okay, Gaz. Is that your name, Panov? There we go, lads. Gaz. No, I'm not going to call you Gaz Panov. I'm just going to call you Panov because I've called you bloody Panov for years, lad. So I'm going to keep on calling you Panov. But big up Panov. Big up there, Ravi. How are we, mates? Busy. Big up there, Ravi. I hope you're well, mate. Sorry there, I was just reading your message. Jack, may I ask, what is Liverpool not buying a 6? DM using Seth van den Berg feels there. I think we will sign a 6, mate. I think we will sign a 6. But I think it's very heavily dependent on, obviously, Arnie Slot. I think it's in terms, as I just mentioned, the centre-back areas. As I said, it's a lot of work. And it will take about 2-3 years, really, for Liverpool to be seeing the best of Arnie Slot. We know it's going to be a transitional stage next 2 years. We're not. I'm not expecting, chat as well. Ravi, don't know how you all feel. I'd love us to be challenging for the league next season, but for me, that's very unrealistic. It's going to take time. It's going to take a couple of transfer windows, certainly, to get a couple of players in and get his hammer down his philosophy as well. Getting rid of players is going to be one of the big points as well, as I mentioned with Seth van den Berg, moving him out the football club if he was to leave. Kelleher, it's about recruiting that amount of good money coming in and then obviously spending the money very wisely. But Ravi, I think we all sign a 6, mate. It will be interesting. At the top of my head, I can't really think. I remember doing a couple of videos a couple of years ago prior to his move to PSG. Obviously, the Ugarte, obviously Uruguayan central defensive midfielder who hasn't featured a lot for Paris Saint-Germain. There's going to be a lot of movements, obviously, out of the football club for the French side. Obviously, Kylian Mbappe, the biggest one, but I think I've seen reports. Apologies, chat, over the last couple of weeks. Apparently, that Ugarte, especially some of us, have couple of French publications as well, saying that potentially Ugarte might be moving out in the opposite direction as well. So if he was made available, I'd certainly like to see Liverpool go in for Ugarte. I think he's a player that could come in and very much hammer down his position, but it would be interesting how he would. I don't think he'd have any issues getting in fully integrated into the Premier League as well. He's a player with immense quality. Cool. Happy days there, Padov. Big up there, Ants. Why are we not allowed nice things? Ants, how are we, lads? Ants, obviously, Ants, congratulations for your lads back in the Premier League. Long time no see. I knew you, as I said on your channel last season, mate. I knew you would be straight back up anyway. Yeah, but we'll be seeing Ant this season. If you haven't subscribed to Ant's Leicester fan channel, make sure you do. Obviously, top Leicester fan channel, and he does a lot of Premier League shows as well throughout the season. But you will be seeing Ant on the Leicester build-up shows that we will have this coming season as well. And it's just, where do we start with your club, lad? It's whether like you like your sporting directors are getting pinched off you. Your head of recruitments are getting. I feel sorry for Leicester fans and Brighton fans out there, mate. Because whether it's Chelsea, well, it's just basically Chelsea just robbing everything. Like Chelsea robbing managers, robbing the every person in every transfer department as well. It's just crazy. But who do you reckon will be taking over at your football club? Did I read? Was it tonight before I come on here? Was Connor was mentioning to me? It's Steve Cooper. Was he linked with the Leicester job? But yeah, congratulations, mate. We'll see it on the channel very soon. Big up there, Ravi. But if the club wants to be serious and match the likes of City, thing is, Ravi, we can't match City. No club in world football can match City. We might be able to match them on a football pitch, but in terms of not even the likes of Real Madrid, well, apart from Real Madrid, maybe, obviously their resources, but in terms of financials, City's second team can win the Premier League. It could probably win the Champions League as well. Similar with Real Madrid in terms of La Liga as well, but in terms of not missing out on and no, not miss out on decent. Thing is, Ravi, the window's going to be open, mates, and we'll be getting linked with a lot of players. As I said, been doing YouTube for the last 6 years. Like the maddest transfer for me, that I can it would be mad if the Fekir transfer was done now because the amount of social media coverage. Like at the time when I was doing my videos, it was crazy. Like the Fekir video was done, it just wasn't released. Like I think we all remember the Fekir images of him basically in Liverpool shirt, and it just wasn't officially announced. And everyone was become a Photoshop expert, and that same image has been analysed by everyone and said, no, it was legit, real. Like it just wasn't released. But it will be interesting. Post-Jurgen Klopp leaving Liverpool. I'm pretty sure. The one question if he has to ask Jurgen, I'm very surprised that he wasn't asked about what the hell happened about Fekir. I know there's been reports of saying obviously Fekir's agent or something to do with his knee as well. Obviously Liverpool had a couple of results back off the scans as well. But when you analyse Fekir's transfer history as well, as soon as he moved to La Liga, wherever he went, it didn't give him any issues. So it's mad. If there's any journos out there, please ask Jurgen Klopp in the next couple of months what happened. Let him enjoy his time in his new mansion that he's got built in Spain. But when he gets a microphone put in front of him when he's doing interviews, can someone out there please ask him what happened with that Fekir interview? Because we're all interested. I know it's out there already, but we want the proper ins and outs of that transfer because it was just mad. Big up there, Panov. Does Slot play with a 6 though, or 2 centre mids in a pivot? Depends, Panov. I've been watching a lot of great videos out there. Definitely just that many great videos out there that I've just spoke about. Arnie Schlott's in I've been watching so many tactic videos. Not going to sit here and say I know ins and outs of Arnie Schlott's tactics because I don't. But from the videos I've watched, it looks like it's sometimes he plays with a 4-2-3-1. Sometimes he plays with a 4-3-3. And then there's all that jazz with the fullbacks going in. And yeah, they're playing everywhere, the fullbacks. And this is why Trent will be very interesting to see where he does play in that inverted role as well. So yeah, I think Arne Slot, he did have, I think it was at his time at AZ Alkmaar as well. He did have Coop Miners. Congratulations. Well, yeah, congratulations. Surprisingly, Leverkusen, this is how long we haven't done a video. Leverkusen actually got beat, chat, and it was by the team that knocked us out of the Europa League. But Coop Miners did play under Arne Slot, and he was the captain, I think it was, for AZ Alkmaar at that time as well. And I think that's a name that I think we got to keep an eye on. Coop Miners, I think there's a lot of talk when new managers come in, will they go and sign players that they've played under over previous clubs. But I think obviously Coop Miners he's certainly been a name that has been on Liverpool's radar for not just the last 12 months, for the last 3-4 years, really. Obviously, so he's one to keep an eye on. But Panoff, it will be fine now. It's about the main thing going into not just for next season, but in terms of giving Arne Slot every possible opportunity to thrive, is we give him all the tools. We don't leave any stone unturned, really. We give Arne Slot the transfer fees. We say, there you go, Arnie, what you want, so you can work with that. But I just don't want to be seeing the next 3-4 years where another what if Liverpool got that extra player. If the money is there from the Liverpool, and certainly when you bring in any manager, when we brought in Jurgen Klopp, we had to back him. But even now, it's this is where it's not just Arne Slot that's coming in and wanting big transfer fees. It's the players as well, because we are losing a big manager like Jurgen Klopp. The players as well will be looking at the owners, and they'll be demanding that the club do go out there and spend the right money. Because last year, finishing in top 4 was a minimum. Next season, if you had to say what my aspirations for next season is top 4, and that is a minimum. I'm not going to sit here and say that I expect Arne Slot to be challenging for the league straight away, because that'd be silly. Do I want that to happen? Of course, every Liverpool fan wants that to happen. But we've got to be realistic with our aspirations in terms of depending on how quick and how quickly he can implement his philosophy on this team. It will be telling, really. But that is all down to transfers as well. This is why it's so pivotal. I don't think Arne Slot will get all of his players in this given window in the next couple of months anyway. I think it will probably take about 3 or 4 transfer windows, mainly due to the players that potentially might leave the club as well. So it's an exciting time, really. Fed Up finally had a manager who wasn't, and he's gone. And it's crazy world of football, mate. It's crazy, mate. It's scary going into a league season and with no Jurgen Klopp. It's crazy. I'm gonna get behind Arne Slot, and we all will. But it's gonna be a difficult. Anyone coming in after Jurgen Klopp, it was always going to be a difficult task. Can he do it? I think he can, but it's a results-based business. Football is very fickle. Every football fan and football club it's a results-based business. If you're at a football club and you've lost 6 consecutive games, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And we see how some of these owners, or not say all of the owners in the Premier League, but we know the clubs that are very reactionary in terms of just getting too reactionary involved. I made up the Ipswich manager's actually staying. If I was him, the fact that he's got 2 back-to-back promotions, but good on him. Is it McKenna? Apologies, it's not his name. McKenna's name. But if you're him and you're his agent, you are absolutely buzzing off your tits that he's got. I think he's going to be getting paid he's going to be one of the highest paid managers in the Premier League. And good for him. He's got the new transfer bag. He's made up. He's even more of a multi-millionaire now. But I think if you're an Ipswich fan, you want McKenna to stay at the football club, even if it's 1 year. Because if I'm McKenna, or all of us, the majority of us, like if you've done 2 back-to-back promotions and then you've done the third back into the Premier League, you want to be that manager that takes that Ipswich side into the Premier League. And even better if you can keep that Ipswich side in the Premier League. Do what the likes of Thomas Frank's done with obviously that Brentford side as well. It's still miraculous when you ask me. If you're a Brentford fan out there, it's amazing what Thomas Frank. And don't get me wrong, last season wasn't up to their expectation. Well, I'd say it wasn't, but from an outside point of view, considering how good Brentford have been over the last couple of years, you're a bit surprised. But the fact that Brentford is staying in the Premier League, a bit like Brighton as well. Everyone goes on about Brighton and Brentford. For me, it's absolutely miraculous in terms of like their transfer spend and like the amount of resources they have compared to the likes of us, Liverpool, like United, Chelsea, and other clubs at the top of the pyramid as well. So it's amazing. And it's going to be interesting. Does Ivan Toney stay at Brentford? That's another show for another night anyway. But yeah, big up there, Ant. West Brom manager is favourites. Yeah, he's very highly regarded, and Carlos Cobran. I think he plays a 4-2-3-1 system. I wasn't too impressed, and with their playoff, the playoff attempts really in terms of getting into the playoff final. He really did disappoint, but I'm pretty sure if they keep hold of him or if he goes to use Ants, he's very highly regarded in the world of football anyway. He's a manager to keep an eye on anyway. We need to not expect when we want quality makes sense. Big up there, Sporting Bingo. Big up Luke, thinking of you lads. Obviously we all are, mate, but big up, mates. Jack and his shares. I'm like on slots number 2. And you're going, I'm not going to sit here, Ravi, and say that I know a lot about Arne Slot and his second assistant, because I don't. The only thing that I know about Arne Slot's second assistant or whatnot, one of his assistants, was obviously was the assistant manager for the Dutch national side, and obviously Liverpool did announce that he'd become full-time at Liverpool, so he is no longer the assistant to the Dutch national side. But big up there, Phil. It would be mad if we didn't get a DM to rotate with Endo, though. I do think Endo is a solid backup, though. He's had a really good first season. He has, Phil. The thing is, Endo's amazing. As you said there, Phil, took the words out my mouth, mate, like always. He is a squad player, Endo. But the thing is, what you're going to get with a competitive overall whole Liverpool, I think we've come into this realm of the Manchester City verse of we expect every position, not just Liverpool, but for every average football fan out there to expect every position in your squad can be getting replaced by a £50 million player, because it can't. Like realistically, you can't. It's impossible to very much fathom that. Like the average Premier League side, we just mentioned Brentford's, they can't sit there and replace like their specialist number 6 with a £50 million player. We can't. But Endo is a squad player. What we need is, you look at Stefan Bajcetic as well. You look at his developments in a Liverpool shirt. Obviously, last year he was obviously struggling with growth and obviously a couple of injuries as well. Obviously, Kay Gordon did have growth in a massive growth spurt. I think if you look at Kay Gordon now, from the young lad that come in, he literally grew about 5, 6, 7 inches. I think Kay Gordon now, when you look at him, when we will see him in pre-season, he's about 6 foot now. And obviously we know how important the not just in terms of the physical developments, but in terms of the psychological developments of players as well. It's so pivotal now in the modern game that you've got to bed players in at the right time. It's all well and good saying, oh, you've got a good young player there, throw him in. Nah, it's not all about that. Like, I always look at Rashford. I think Rashford, phenomenal player. I know everyone's not the biggest fan of Rashford, but I think Rashford, for the quality of him, I think he's literally played too much football for a young player. If you look at the amount of games he's played, given how young he is, I think he's Rashford like 24, 25 now, or 26, whatever it is. Yeah, you'd think he was about 30, considering the amount of games he has played. But yeah, you've got to be careful with young players when they come through that they don't play so many games. And that's what I mean about trying to Man City to attempt top players. Yeah, City will always get the top players, especially when you are, regardless of off the field, but in terms of top elite level players. This is what I find mad. Like, you think how young, like, you think Rodri's about 30, but when you think about it, Chad, how old's Rodri? I think he's about 25, 24, is he? Something crazy. And he's already won, what, 3, 4, might be even 5 Premier Leagues now already. Phenomenal number 6. But that's where we want to aim for, the Rodri type of quality. Is there another Rodri out there? No, there isn't. So you've got to look, and the data, lads, that's what we'll be doing in the summer. In terms of getting the best out of Stefan Bajcetic, that's a big priority for Liverpool going into the new season. And then obviously potentially maybe bringing a 20, 30 million pound number 6, whether that be Koopmeiners or another player that Arne Slot does very much favour to bring in and wants to implement his philosophy into this team. So it's that would have been one of the biggest, regardless of whoever was coming in to Liverpool post Jurgen Klopp, one of the biggest, and as much as it frustrates all of us as fans, would love Liverpool to go out and spend 50, 60 million pounds. But what's the whole point of buying that new state-of-the-art facility of a training ground if you're not going to promote your youth as well? Like, Liverpool at this moment in time, go and watch Alex Hinglethorpe. I always absolutely butchered that fella's name. The fella that's in charge of Liverpool's academy, Alex Hinglethorpe, I think it is. Obviously, he's spoken at length over the last 12 months, 24 months, really, about the new crop of players. And he spoke about it that, like, basically the round table. If you haven't checked it out, it's on Liverpool's TV channel, so go and check it out on their YouTube. And it was interesting that you just said the next stage of Liverpool, like the crop of players coming in now, is really exciting. And you never know, we could have a couple of 50 million. Like, we're going to go on to Jarell Quansah in a little second as well. But Jarell Quansah is proof in the pudding there, really, in terms of Jarell Quansah. He has literally saved Liverpool 50, 60 million pounds in terms of bringing in a young centre-half. There was a lot of reports last season about, obviously, Levi Caldwell. He will not be coming to Liverpool. He will not be coming to Liverpool. And I think I've seen reports over the last 2 weeks as well from other outlets saying that Liverpool backing. It's basically the Nabil Fekir news that usually gets recycled. And but Jarell Quansah saved Liverpool 50, 60 million pounds in the transfer window as well. So I'm looking forward to it as well. Big up there, K-Mac. How are we, lads? How are we, mates? Don't expect Slot to win the league, but I do expect him to be challenging with the teams he's got. 100%, panel. Yeah. I think Arne Slot will very much surprise. I think a lot of us, even me as well. But I think the most important thing is we back Arne Slot in terms of the football club, giving him the funds. As I said, not just developing the youth players that we've got coming through into this Liverpool side, but in terms of giving Arnie every best possible opportunity to start winning trophies. And the fact that Jurgen Klopp already started the Arne Slot chance, he said on his farewell message, just get behind him. And that's what we're going to do. Every Liverpool fan around the world, we're going to get behind this manager. And there will be difficult results along the way, but that's when you get behind the manager even more, and you keep on believing. And this is what the last week I could be doing videos, and that's like, I don't want to be coming on ranting and raving. And when I've analysed my videos from the back end of this last season just gone, I didn't like doing the videos. That's why I wasn't doing my videos every single day. I hate coming on. Of course, plays, you can criticise players. Is where I analyse players as well. The last thing I want to do is start going after players, because I didn't like doing that, and I was disappointed, and I apologise for that chat as well. But going into the new season, we'll critique a player, but when a week comes round, we get behind the player even more. And like, it's just like Darwin Núñez, as I said a couple of weeks ago, I went through him, Diaz. I was like, at the time, I was like, oh, sell them. But the thing is, I was wrong then. I was like, no. The one thing is, if Núñez is going in the summer, then sounds, wish him all the best of luck. But if he is staying, like I said, Diaz as well, whoever it is staying at the football club, get behind them even more. And especially Jurgen Klopp's message as well to every Liverpool fan. Get behind the manager like you did get behind me all those years ago. And I was like, go ahead, Jurgen. We will, lads, we will. But yeah, there's quite a lot less players as well. And big up there, Ants. We've had 4 out of the starting 11 injured versus Southampton with a weaker team than anyway. Fact he's even in the playoffs is outstanding as well. Yeah, West Brom have done we're one of those original yo-yo teams. I think the foundations of West Brom in terms of them being such a proper football. They were in the Premier League for so long, weren't they? The Baggies, really, West Brom. I think he will come into the Premier League next season. He will, West Brom, back into the Premier League next season. They'll certainly be up there, especially if they can keep holding the manager as well. But Jack, what do you think of not giving Mo a new contract and letting him leave for free at the end of the season? Personally, I would give him an extension or sell him now if we can. Panov, have you not been watching or Liverpool fans out there, have you haven't been watching Liverpool social media posts, especially today? I think he's done a great picture of Salah with all of his goal scoring records behind him with the balls, the Premier League balls. Salah signing a new deal. He's going absolutely nowhere, Salah. There's many articles that you might read in next couple of weeks, next couple of months, couple of videos that we might do as well. The inevitable of Salah stories linking him with Saudis, the Saudi Pro League, will happen because it generates clicks, it generates everything. He's massive. Like Salah is one of the biggest players, if not, he's in the top 3 of world football at this moment in time in terms of what he does on a football pitch. But I think Salah, like it was, as I mentioned with Trent, Salah will be signing that new contract at Liverpool. And make him retire at Liverpool. But it depends. What does Salah want to do? I want him to stay at Liverpool. I want him to become... He's my generation's Ian Rush. Like, that's how good his numbers are. When the time comes when Salah does end his career at Liverpool, we're all going to deep it and we're all going to look at those numbers. And we should already be doing that at this moment in time as well. The numbers he produces are an absolute joke. Like, in terms of when you look at it, you get like 30 goals every single season. But in terms of even neutrals or out, like people out, when Salah does retire or whatever happens with Salah in the next couple of years, that's when I think the Premier League will go, bloody hell. Him and Kevin De Bruyne have been the stable holds, really, for the Premier League. 2 of the best footballers on the planet for the best part of the last 5-6 years. Kevin De Bruyne and Salah have been absolutely amazing for both of our clubs, both obviously Liverpool and for City as well. But it's not just in the Premier League stage, it's in a Champions League stage as well. And I still think if Salah didn't go off injured in that first Champions League under Jurgen Klopp, I think we would have won that year. Anyway, obviously Ramos with his tactics and all that, but sod you, Ramos. But yeah, I think he'll stay. Panov, you will get the announcements in a couple of weeks' time, if not very soon as well. That's what Arne Slot's big priority will be. I think with the new manager coming in, the biggest main Arne Slot will be saying to the people in terms of Michael Edwards as well, and everyone, obviously, Julian Ward as well, and just saying to those lads, right, boys, I want Van Dijk signed down, I want Trent signed down, I want Salah signed down, I want Alisson signed down. Because those 4 players, they are not just Liverpool teams, but in terms of world football as well, they are 4 of the biggest players in terms of quality as well. That's why we're so blessed to have them at the football club. Like, we are getting into the back end of Van Dijk's career, but in terms of how well Liverpool do, in terms of recruiting, in terms of protecting Virgil van Dijk, in terms of if Van Dijk in the next 2-3 years, which is anticipated, where he might need to develop his game, where he needs to step off a good 5, 10, 20 yards in terms of his defensive mind, he's still got the brain. Look at John Terry. John Terry, the best Premier League centre-half in my era anyway. Phenomenal centre-half. He wasn't the quickest, but what he did when he was getting a bit further on his career, and what I think Virgil van Dijk might do is step off a player a good 5, 10 yards. Arne Slot might bring that defensive line a bit 5-10 yards a bit more further back. I don't think Virgil van Dijk's overall game will massively depreciate, really. I think it'll only get better with time as well. So it's obviously in terms of what Liverpool do in terms of down that right-hand side. But the main thing is protection for Virgil, protection for Alisson as well, Ibu, whoever, Quansah. I think the spine of Liverpool in this Arne Slot era has got to be spot on. It has to be spot on. That's why we spoke already tonight about recognised number sixes, and obviously getting Stefan Bajcetic into full form as well. I'm really excited to see more of Stefan in this Liverpool team. I was disappointed that we didn't see him, but obviously with his injuries and everything last year, it couldn't get straight into the start 11. Edwards is back. I had this lad for 4 million, sell for 20 million. Easy. And I think we're talking about, obviously, Rodri. Is Rodri 26? Yeah, big up there, K-Mac. Happy days, mate. Yeah, over 250 games. And he's... Oh, is it either about... is it Rashford or Rodri I was mentioning? It's crazy. Yeah. Did Connor Bradley... so did... Yeah, another name, Connor Bradley. I'm excited. Another 12 months of watching Connor Bradley. Especially if Arne Slot does revert. We'll do plenty of shows in the coming weeks as well. There's going to be plenty of shows. Lots of transfer shows, but a lot of tactics videos. TikTok. Facts. Rafa Facts as well. Jack Facts. Far from it. Chat and bear one most nights anyway. But Connor Bradley seeing him in a Liverpool shirt in this new Arne Slot system will be very interesting, to say the least. We can spend, look how much we spend on Darwin, but looks bargains first. Thing is, if Liverpool, Ravi, or in general chat as well, say in a world, if Liverpool were to, not that I want to be saying that, if Liverpool were to sell, or if a club was to come in for Darwin Núñez, I think Liverpool would certainly get the money back easy. Because you look at the age profile of Darwin Núñez as well. He's still at a very young age. And it's not just... We live in a world, especially Premier League bias, regardless of your football club. Every Premier League side or every Premier League fan, we all think our league's the best league in the world. I think it is, but it might not be, because when you look at the barometer, really, you look at the amount of Champions League spots as well. I think if the Premier League was so good, I think we would have won the Champions League a lot more. But saying that, Liverpool, the fact that this is where I just can't fathom, really, where City, for how good they have been, and they have been really good, they should have had more than one Champions League. But it just goes to show, and this added saying of not always the best team wins the Champions League, and I'd agree, because it's a knockout tournament. Anything can happen in terms of two legs as well. But Real Madrid do my bloody head in, do have our heads in. But it's in the Real Madrid DNA anyway. Just go and check out how they won their first 5 Champions Leagues. But yeah, it's the Premier League. But the thing is, if it wasn't for City and Liverpool in terms of European competition, obviously everyone would be Chelsea fans would be shouting, "We won the Champions League!" Of course you did. But in terms of being consistent, I remember those Chelsea days of literally felt like the Rafa years where we felt like we were playing Chelsea every single week for the best part of like 3-4 years. It was mad. It was like, go on, tell us the draw. We're going to get Chelsea. And it was always used to be the case. Big up there, the Red Machine. Big up there, matey. For Academy. Alex said that they have over 125 players in the full academy and so many talents. 100% there, K-Mac. I know you know quite a fair couple of the young lads coming through, don't you, mate? Obviously, so, but yes, looking forward to it. There's a lot of money there. Neither was Company, but he adapted and changed and went till he was 35. Yeah, 100%. And it looks like Pep Guardiola put in a very good reference for Vinny Company. I think even when you look at Vincent Company as a player, phenomenal centre half for Manchester City. Still haven't forgiven for that bloody worldie a couple of years ago. Nice one, lads. But in terms of when you... I know there's that social media video that goes around of him fuming when he was in his management was Anderlecht. And it's like, don't judge Vincent Kompany's, like, I get he got relegated. plenty of great managers have been relegated in their early stages. But we live in a world now where every young manager coming through now, it's not where we had Pep Guardiola coming through in terms of him being an assistant and everything. Like, everything is analysed now. So, like, as soon as a player, like, and don't even get me started on Wazza becoming the Wayne Rooney becoming a new Plymouth Argyle manager. Yeah, that's another show for another night, really, in terms of great players don't necessarily make great managers. But, yeah, not going to dive into that because we'll be here all night. La Liga, well, I'm guessing you can tell my thoughts. La Liga is a lot more entertaining. Yes, certainly, I'd say for entertainment value, certainly, and I think I'd like to see the Premier League be where La Liga was when you had peak Messi and peak Ronaldo, like at their pomp. But I don't think we'll ever get to that stage in the Premier League. It would have needed Kylian Mbappe to have come to the Premier League where you'd had Haaland and you had Mbappe. But the thing is, Real Madrid, give it another 10 years. I think Barca, as soon as Barcelona come back to their full potential when they've sorted out selling all their TV rights and everything, yeah, I'd like to see the Premier League up there, but I don't think the Premier League would ever be able to compete at that, like Pete Real Madrid, Pete Messi, and like that, like what 10 years ago. That was whole eyes of world football were on them. I don't spend ridiculous amounts of money. Have to do with spend to get players as well. 100% poor Plymouth. I'd agree, and poor Plymouth from everyone on that channel. But straight into this one as well, chat. Obviously, the England announcement. I know a majority of Liverpool fans don't care about England and all that anyway, but what I care about is obviously these players. I think for Trent, Curtis Jones, Quansah, and I've just said these 4 players have been called up. Harvey Elliott has not been called up. Gareth, what are you doing, lad? Like, honestly. Like, I think even staunch England fans out there or just general football fans, Premier League fans are going, how is Elliott not got into that? I don't know. But the thing is, yeah, obviously until Harry Kane does retire, obviously he had a couple of issues. Obviously Harvey Elliott, and he since went apologised for that, and we won't talk about that anymore. But obviously unless Harry Kane did retire, I think you could potentially see Elliott coming in. But I don't think Elliott will be getting called up, given obviously Harry Kane is the captain anyway. But in terms of Quansah, I'm hoping he goes to the World Cup, chat. I think for a player of his ability, certainly should be there. Curtis Jones, I think he will be put in the actual the 26 or 25 man squad for England. I think he will go. And I think Trent will go as well. Who's the other player that was called up, chat, for England out of Liverpool? Oh my God. Who's the other player, chat? Who's the other player that did get called up? Yeah, Elliott should be in there. But in terms of my starting 11 for England, this is what I would do in terms of starting 11 for England. Bit mad, but we know Southgate would not even think about playing this. But if I was England manager, this is the formation I'd play. It's the 3-2-2-3 formation. I'd start with obviously Pickford in goal, Walker, Jared Branthwaite, Sergio Maguire's. I know he's been really good for England, but we've got to look for the future. The back 3 for me, but that would be a back 4 if it was to start off. But obviously my back 3 would be Kyle Walker, Branthwaite, Joe Gomez. That was it, Joe Gomez. Sorry, Joey. I completely forgot about you, lad. But he will be getting put into the official England national team anyway. Then I go Stones and Rice in the 2 6s. Then I play Trent and Bellingham. Obviously, I play Trent a bit more higher up in that box formation, mainly due to if you were going to be playing him by Stones, I think he would have those issues in which we have seen as well. But I put Jude behind, obviously Foden, Saka, and Harry Kane. That would be my starting 11 for England. But Southgate's a fraud. And yeah, so sort that. But chat, let's get to all your comments as well before we do shoot off. But yeah, just wanted to touch on how Harvey Elliott hasn't been called up, but I don't know. But hopefully he will get called up one day as well, because I think he will do really well. Big up there, and obviously I don't think should be as well. Yeah, true. We've got too many good. Like you think about the quality. You've got Saka, you've got Palmer, you've got Foden as well. I think when you look at the strength in those central attacking areas for England, you would struggle to really get in anyway. But chat, we'll quickly recap. So we spoke about obviously Alisson Becker. Alisson will be staying at Liverpool unless an absolute ridiculous transfer fee does come in from the Saudi Pro League. Hopefully not. Obviously, Trent, the impending announcement on his new contract. That is, it's a matter of when, not if, for Trent signing his new deal. Seth van der Berg, we spoke about potentially what that would mean for him this season in terms of potential value of in around 20 million. Potentially Liverpool might be getting in the summer window, in this window to come. And obviously spoke about a little touched on, obviously Curtis Jones, Trent as well, Quansah, and obviously Joe Gomez. I expect all four of those players to be on the plane to Germany in a couple of weeks' time anyway. But chat, it's been an absolute bloody pleasure. A massive thank you to every single one of you that has tuned in. Big up there, and I'd have Slabhead over Gomez, and Stones also not coming to Trent in that role as well. I think if England were to play Trent in a bit more an advanced role, he needs that defensive protection. But in terms of Trent going forward, he's one of the best attacking defender in world football anyway. When he's got the right protection. Look at what he'd done for Liverpool when he had Fabinho there. And I think if he had Declan Rice and he had John Stones alongside him and even Kyle Walker behind him, I think Trent would really thrive in that role for England. Big up, Daz. Would you take Harvey to the Euros? Daz, I would, lads. But I don't think he will get in given the quality players that we've already got in those positions. If you're a defender, especially just where I think Quansah will get into the England side, is England are absolutely stacked in those attacking forward lines. But in terms of a defensive structural point of view, I think I'd like to see Branthwaite go straight into the Euro squad. But you just know Southgate's probably done a pick Maguire. But I get where Southgate's coming from. He's never disappointed. And especially if Harry Maguire's playing in a back three, or more or less a three, and then transitions into a back five as well. So so it's going to be one of them. Don't think players. Left back as well. That's where Gomez will probably come in. Red Machine Gomez obviously has played left back for Liverpool for the last 12 months anyway. That's why I think Joe Gomez has to be nailed down in that England side, because then you can, if Southgate is going to transition into a 3 formation, not like he's ever going to do that formation, but that's where that's where modern football has evolved over the last 5-10 years anyway. So Southgate wants to win a tournament. That's a formation you do play against the likes of Spain, likes of Italy as well, likes against France. But one of them. Big up there, Red Machine. England should be Pickford, Walker, Stones, Branthwaite, Gomez, Rice, Bellingham, Trent, Foden, Kane, and Palmer as well. Check England starting 11s in before we do. But Mbappe, ridiculous centre half. And I think you were watching me World Cup watch along. I love that World Cup final watch along chat in December. It was nearly Christmas anyway at the time, but we'll go down as certainly one of the best World Cup finals I'll probably ever watch, that the majority of us will ever watch anyway. But Mbappe, what a player. That's why you need about 5 centre-halves on the pitch to stop him anyway. But chat, a massive thank you. As I said, recapped on all the stories. If you're watching up until this point and you haven't already done so, please do drop a like on the video. And we will be live tomorrow evening as well for another episode. We'll be live on Saturday for the Champions League final watch along. I'll have my Dortmund shirt on. Fingers crossed Dortmund can win. We'd love that. The whole of Wales football would love that, apart from Bayern Munich fans as well, of course. But chat, it'll be live tomorrow and we'll be live on Saturday as well. And just keep an eye on, obviously, the social, on the updates on the channel, on the community page as well. Any updates in terms of the schedule and everything can be found there as well. Drop a like, drop a subscribe as well if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube. Absolute legends, but we have plenty more to come tomorrow evening as well. But Reds, or just general football fans, look after yourself. Have a lovely rest of your evening or morning, wherever you are watching around the globe. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, UK time, GMT, in the evening. Probably around 8, 9 p.m. GMT. But Reds, see you later. Everyone, have a lovely rest of your night. And we'll see you later. Ta-ra.